Poppy will normally go to daycare like at least once a week, and so will the other two, and we just kind of choose a day that kind of suits them well, so that then they kind of have their little pack like most of the other daycare dogs that come to us. If they go on a regular basis, then they get to know each other. Like some of them have been with each other almost every week of the year for like 3 or 4 years straight.
Welcome to the Pawsome Companion, where pets are part of our family. I'm your host, Joanna Herrera, the founder of Coco and Bondi. I'm very excited to interview experts and pet owners to share their stories and insights so you can use them to take care of your babies. Hi Teagan, how are you?
I'm good, thank you. How are you?
Good. So I would love to get an introduction of those two babies here, who they are.
So this one here is Keith. He is a Kelpie Cross Collie. We adopted him at 5 months of age. He's now 7. And this little one is Poppy. She is a English Toy Terrier, so a rare breed here in Australia. And she is 10 months old, so she is fully grown, and she's still adorable though.
She is. She's so adorable. So I know that you have more.
Yeah, I've got 2 more Kelpies at home. So I've got our 6-year-old is Marley, and she's a blonde Kelpie, and we rescued her when she was 2 years of age. And then I have Levi, who is 5, and he's a tricolored Kelpie, and we fostered him and his brother when they're about 10 weeks of age, with the intention to foster fail so that we could get another doggy.
Okay. So what are the how do you describe them? For example, how do you describe Keith?
Keith is probably a bit like, he's the one that is super friendly with meeting new people. Like he's so excited about life. And then you have Marley, who she's like my free spirit, because she was on a sheep station before she came to us. So she's used to being on the land a lot. So she just loves to go explore and run and just kind of just be outdoors a lot. Levi's more my sensitive soul. He's very much like connected with me, and like he like loves the cuddles. And then this one here, I mean, she's still developing her personality, but she's, she's the playful one because she's still a puppy. Her and Levi are best friends. They play all the time, which is good for him because it brings him out of his little sensitive shell. And then she'll play with this guy sometimes as well. But yeah, she's sometimes cheeky because of her size. She can get up on, tables and things like that if she wants to. But yeah, she's the little pocket rocket who's easy to just pick up and take wherever you want to.
And I imagine all of them go along very well.
Yeah, they're really good. Marley, she's like the cool, calm and collected one. So she's not super playful. Like she won't wrestle with Poppy. She'll sometimes wrestle with the other 2 Kelpies, but she's more of just the very relaxed one. And then Keith's like the one that if we have any dogs come over, he's more likely to try and like be friends with them straight away. And then, Poppy and Levi are besties. So they're always playing together.
Yeah, he's playing now. He's excited.
Yeah. He loves
being at the Pawsome Companion.
Yeah, he loves rolling on any sort of carpet or anything like that. Or the rug at home. He does the upside down wiggle. And yeah, he loves it, don't you?
So I know that you got a daycare.
Yes.
So I imagine you got the doggies as well around the other dogs. So how do you manage to have them?
Yeah, so we kind of rotate around. Our 4 dogs go to daycare kind of like 1 day a week. Keith doesn't go as much just because he's got some health issues. So we try and keep as much weight on him as possible. And he likes to run a little bit too much. So if we give him too much space, he will just run and run. But these guys, Poppy will normally go to daycare like at least once a week. And so will the other 2. And we just kind of choose a day that kind of suits them well, so that then they kind of have their little pack like most of the other daycare dogs that come to us. If they go on a regular basis, then they get to know each other. Like some of them have been with each other almost every week of the year for like 3 or 4 years straight, just because they've been with us for so long. So we try and send them on the same days so that then they get really settled in their pack and they know who their friends are and all that sort of stuff. So
that's good.
Very cute.
Yeah, I normally when I have my doggy with other dogs, he already recognize them and they become friends. It's actually very funny how they start recognizing other pets and they start like making friends when they start seeing other doggies So tell me a little bit about your care business, because I know that you get a van
Yeah.
and you collect doggies all around South, like Adelaide.
Yes. Yeah.
So how does it work? How is like a normal routine or day for you collecting the doggies?
So we've got 2 buses and we've got a team as well. And then so our buses go, we try and cover as much as Adelaide as possible without, having the dogs in the bus for too long. So so we can do north, south, east, west, the city and the hills as well. So got about 17 bus stops now, and we do all 5 days a week. And then we have so both of them, they all have custom built crates. So they all get their own little kind of like bedroom that they're nice and, settled in. And then, our team, they go out, we meet them at the bus stops that we normally just choose like a place like a dog park or an oval or somewhere where there's a car park where it's nice and safe for them that the dogs can go, to the toilet or something like that. And then we pop them on the bus, go to the next bus stop. And then we will
keep collecting the doggies from one bus stop to
correct.
the other one.
We have about 2 to 3 bus stops each kind of day on each bus. And then so we go to those ones and then we come and bring them back to our property. So our daycare space is at the moment it's about 8 acres. So then they get to go into the daycare area, and we've got a pond that they will swim in. We have got a giant sand pit that they get to, dig and roll around, or a lot of them like to play zoomies. So they'll like zoom around in the sand pit and kind of tease each other. We've got a truck that they can kind of zoom up the stairs and then down the ramp, and we've got the tunnel. So there's all different things, and it's just whatever makes them happy. Some of them, they love to play with other dogs and they're like super, super wrestly.
Yeah.
Other dogs, they don't really want to play physically. They just want to be out with, a pack of dogs, exploring,
or
running.
washing. I have seen that there, like sometimes when I visit dog paths, some of them just go and look at the other dogs and they don't do anything.
Yeah. And like a lot of the, the scent-based breeds. So we've got a lot of spaniels, and they just love, and beagles. They just love head down and just they're sniffing. It's such a, large space. And sometimes those breeds, the owners can't fully trust them off lead otherwise because they are a scent driven breed. So they love just following their nose, and they don't necessarily listen if they're on, a really nice scent. So with us, because it's all fully fenced, they can give their dog a good day out without having to worry that they're going to kind of
and to be honest, it's like a small treat for your pets to send them to the farm and
especially
have
when
fun.
they make friends, and it's really sweet.
They could be a really nice birthday present for a doggy or something.
Well, then they add, like even today at daycare, there's a birthday. So generally sometimes one or a couple of days a week, people have booked an extra package for their dogs, and they get a birthday cake and they get a photo shoot and they get a little birthday party with a couple of their friends, and it's like the cutest thing ever. So like, they only have a birthday one day a year. It's worth celebrating, putting a party hat on and eating some cake.
And doing what they love the most, playing with other doggies. Which my dog loves it.
Yes.
So I have a question for you. So you're saying that you got that van.
Yes.
How many doggies can you fit in it?
Yeah. So we've got our new bigger bus. So that one can fit up to about like 30 in that one. So that's like a proper big yellow school bus. Like we've actually wrapped it in a custom wrap that looks like an American school bus.
I actually was looking at a show a long time ago, and it was a guy recording them in a bus.
Yes.
Taking them to the bus, and sometimes like putting like it was Halloween or any sort of season, like putting them like outfits, and they were like on the bus, like kids. Amazing.
So we have that one's our bigger one.
Okay.
And then we have our other one that fits around like 16, 17 dogs in that one as well.
Yeah.
So it depends on how busy we are, but normally around like mid-30s is how many dogs we can have with us. We can We're approved for up to 60, but we only have about mid-30s at the moment. We have some owners that if they are at home and they're watching our Instagram stories and they hear one of our voices, like because we do like a roll call in the morning, and we roll call what dogs are there on the day, and they tell us that if they are listening to it out loud, their dogs will actually come and be like, oh my God, it's so and so, because they know our voice so much that they're like,
they get excited.
They get really excited, even though their owner's just trying to watch like their phone. But they're like, oh, is it happening? Is it daycare? Like,
are you picking me up?
It's so, some owners, like they have like a word, they'll be like, oh, like you're going to the bus. And then the dogs just get so excited. Like, some of them will say that they say it. I think the other week someone said they said it the night before. They're like, oh, Keith, oh, good boy. They said it the night before. They're like, oh, tomorrow you're going to the bus. And then she's like, that was a bad idea. He got up at 4 a.m. and was like, all right, are we ready?
Yeah, I know. I know that.
Oh, no, you've got a few more
forget.
hours to wait. So, but yeah, she told him a bit too early and he got way too excited and got up, almost like kid on Christmas Day. Was like ready to go. And she's like, it's 4 a.m. Just go back to sleep.
Oh, it's like it wasn't good to say to the dog beforehand.
Yeah, don't
they
too early.
they don't forget. Like when you tell them something.
I think they can count nights because we have so many owners that the dogs know the morning of that's their daycare day. So especially because it's a lot of the time it's weekly, so they know, oh, it's Monday morning or it's Thursday morning, or like they're ready to go. Some of them, they owners say they wait at the car or they won't eat their breakfast because they're like, let's go. Like, I don't want to waste time. Get me in the car, get me to the bus stop. So it's really sweet when they do like that sort of stuff.
That's cute.
Yeah.
So do the owners have to prepare like meals for them or?
No. So we give them treats all throughout the day to reward them for their good behavior. Okay. But because they are doing so much exercise, we don't want too much food in their tummy, just because we know that vets, say that's not safe for them to, do lots of running with, food in their tummy. So we'd prefer them to not have a big breakfast, and then we can reward them throughout the day for their good behavior. And then when they get home, they're ready for a big meal before, tuckering out for the rest of the night because they've had a big day. So.
Okay, that's good to know. So if you got any breed, like is anybody able to come to this?
Any dog from about 15, 16 weeks of age. So definitely the younger, the better when they're puppies, just because they have specific developmental periods that they are really good at, I guess, absorbing new environments. And we don't separate them by age. So some daycares, especially your indoor daycares, they are more likely to separate dogs by age or size or something like that. We prefer to kind of think of it as a schoolyard. At recess and lunchtime at school, you're not segregating the kids by, age. You're just allowing them to, if they want to play with a different age child, they can. They don't have to, but they can. Or they can stick with dog, or kids around their age. And we do kind of similar. They're all together and they choose who they want, because if you put a whole bunch of puppies together in a group and you let them play together, it's super cute. But they don't know like the rules of play. They're often a bit too bitey
or too rough.
Yeah. So if nobody knows the right way to do it, nobody's teaching anyone the right thing. So they're all just learning more rough things and, more bitey play because no one's there to kind of lead them in the right direction. So by having a multitude of different ages, the adults know when they're babies. So they're really gentle with them and they're really good at correcting them and going, no, like don't, nip me on the ear or, do whatever. So they learn a lot better because they can play with, and because we have, a large amount of dogs, we have a large amount of, ages. So they can always find someone to play with. And then the eldest we have is probably about 15. So they can go all the way. We do senior breaks and we do puppy breaks. So the puppies get breaks and the seniors get breaks.
Oh, yeah. But it's like, of course, different times because the little ones so should take more breaks. That's
correct.
The reason why?
So and some need it more than others. Some puppies are better at kind of going off and snoozing on their own, still within the daycare environment, which is, good for them to learn to shut off their brain in an exciting environment. And then you have, the ones who just want to go and don't want to stop until the end of the day is done. So those guys, we have to kind of step in and go, no, don't overdo it. Like, off you go have a nap, and we'll just pop them in a nice area where they've got a bed and they can just go have a bit of a snooze. And then we put them back in with the group.
And what about like doggies playing in different sizes, not ages but sizes? Do you separate them?
No, so they all, the giant dogs get to play with the little dogs, because there's multiple of us out there at all times and we're watching them. We just don't see any issues, and sometimes we get some really cute combinations. Like, I think last week we had a Jack Russell who was playing with a German Shorthair Pointer, so a large breed and a small breed, and they just, it's not a combination that we would necessarily pick, but they pick themselves and they have, a lot of fun.
I think as long as they are in a safe environment where you are looking at them and keeping eyes, on them, that they don't get like they don't get upset with others and start like fighting or something like that. I think that should be fine.
Yeah, and because all of the dogs that come to us, like, people aren't sending their dogs to us who have like a history or anything of any sort of aggression. We kind of do a bit of a test before we let them with the group too. So we don't just allow them to just go with the big group. We meet them first. At the start of the day, we see how they are with a small group, and then we go to the bigger group after that. We now have our new Daycare 2.0, which is like our hybrid and solo. So for the dogs that maybe are having some issues in the big group play or aren't ready for it yet, we can use the hybrid daycare. And then you have solo is for dogs who people still want them to be able to have a great life, but for whatever reason, they don't quite feel comfortable with them being with other dogs. So they can come to our solo program where we do fun activities with them one-on-one with us, but we don't introduce them to like the group of dogs. So we cover kind of all bases now. So it also eliminates the risk of people putting dogs who shouldn't be in group play in group play because they really want them to be part of daycare. Now they have an option that keeps everybody safe, and their dog still gets to feel special as well.
Yeah, I reckon there are some people as well that are a little bit nervous at the beginning because they're not sure what is going to happen.
Yeah.
Because there are a lot of different breeds and sizes. As you said, like, it's good to integrate doggies with big ones and small ones so they get used to and they feel more relaxed.
Just like our household,
open environment.
Like Poppy's 3 kilos. These guys are generally around, 17 kilos. And yet, if they're playing too rough with her, she'll just tell them. She'll just go, no, too far. And they go, oh, sorry, my bad. And that's what's important for dogs to learn. They need to learn those signs, and where they're watching them all the time. So that normally it's the younger dogs. So most dogs under the age of 2, just because the dogs don't hit social maturity until around 2 years of age.
Okay.
So normally they're the ones that kind of don't quite get it. We like to use the term, they don't know how to read the room. So when another dog's saying, no, I don't want to play, they're like, no, we should definitely still be friends. Like, I'm a friendly dog. I want to be your friend. We should still be friends. And it's like, no, like, that body language is a no. I don't want to play with you. But they're like, but this is, I want to have fun. Like, they're not doing anything wrong, but they are putting themselves in danger because they are continually pestering. So that's when we step in and we go, okay, come on, off you go. Like, come this way. There's heaps of other friends for you to play with. Leave that dog alone. So that over time they realize, oh, when I see those body languages from a dog, the humans step in and call me over. So when I see them on my own, I'll just know to walk away, because we've taught them enough that by seeing those behaviors, that means walk away. But at the start, they might not know that. So we're there to step in. But because so many of the dogs have been coming to us for 3-4 years, it's such a settled group. And then we just add new ones in kind of, a couple of times a week. Yeah. So we can kind of focus more on the new ones. And I reckon
they know each other already. So they are more comfortable over the time.
Exactly.
When they see the same dogs.
So, it's easier to focus on, either the younger ones or the newer ones. So it's very balanced. We like to keep a calm environment because dogs make better decisions when they're calm. if they're too like hyperactive and crazy, then they're more likely to make the wrong decision because their brain's just like thinking too quickly.
Yeah,
and they
that would be mine.
Yeah, it's like the adrenaline's going through. You make the wrong decision. So we're there to allow them to have fun, but also if we're going a little bit too far, up the scale, we kind of just bring them back down and just go, hey, how about we just take a breather? Everybody relax for a sec. We have special nap times and stuff like that where we kind of we encourage the group just to relax. Some of them do just go off and nap, and then others just we just have more of like a zen time, just because, playing all day is, that's a lot. So we want to make sure that they're not overdoing themselves mentally and physically as well.
Yeah. So for how long do you, like, if I send my doggy since the morning, you collect the dog, and then at what time do you drop the dog off?
So most bus stops are around, like the earliest one is about 7:10, 7:15 is when it leaves the bus stop. But most of them are around the 7 to 8 a.m. mark. And then in the evening, we start returning them back around like the 5 to 6 p.m. mark. So they spend about from 9 until 4 at daycare. So they spend about 7 hours at daycare, just kind of, running around and having a good time. So
in this case, if I drop my dog as a stop point, you collect the dog, he goes with you, and then I have to go there to the same spot
back to the bus stop. Yeah. And normally the bus stops we try and make it so that, people might be only going, 15, 20 minutes from their house, or some people it's, 5 minutes. Some people walk. So, but they're not going very far from their house, but their dog's going to a completely different, big open environment without having to go out of the way too much for the humans. So, so it's like less effort for the humans, but it's a great day for the dog. So, so generally most people can kind of find something within generally a 15 to 20 minute radius of like metropolitan Adelaide. So,
great. So what are the sort of games that you do for the dogs? Do you have any games or things that you normally do within that period of time?
So we have our new like hybrid daycare program. So that now we have built like a separate area that is for like one-on-one activities. So we have people that can, because sometimes when they're in the big group, if you're introducing, so we do have like a big rope. We have quite a few like rope toys that we have out there because the dogs love to tug with each other. Yeah. We don't have any balls. We learnt that quite quickly, that you have dogs that are very ball focused.
Okay.
So like I have one of mine. So like Levi, he loves fetch and loves a ball. Yeah. So if you show him a ball, he's gone. He's not going to show any sort of interest in anybody else in the environment for the next like 3 hours, even if the ball doesn't come back out again. He'll just keep wanting it. And so many owners tell us that as well. They say their dogs are so ball obsessed, they turn into a completely different dog. They don't care about anything else. Yeah. But when they're with us, like they can play with the ball with their owners. Like they don't need to play with the ball with us. They're here for a different reason. They're here so they can enjoy the environment and, be with other dogs. So we learned that balls aren't the best to have with the dogs, just because the dogs get too focused. They might get, they might think it's just their ball and they don't want the other dogs to come near it. So it's much easier to have something much larger, like the big ropes for them to play with. They have something, because we are outdoor daycare, they have just natural elements. So, the dogs love to find the perfect stick and play chasey with that and do the whole you can't catch me and run around with their little stick. Or sometimes they'll play, everybody chew on the stick at the same time. So you'll have like 3 different dogs chewing on one stick and they all think that's the bee's knees. So they can do all those sort of things, but more the things like, so we do tug with rabbit fur and kangaroo fur, like with a bungee. We've got what's called a flirt pole. Yeah. That's got a sheep's wool attachment on it. And then we do like food games. So we teach the dogs how to go find food, and then we start hiding it in the garden in our hybrid area. So we have all of these activities that we wouldn't really be able to do in like the big group environment, but we can do it in the hybrid area. So like I've got Scout, who's like a little mini Labradoodle. So she's part of my hybrid program every week, and she is like obsessed with it now. She starts her day in group play, so just normal daycare like everybody else. And I have to kind of like sneak away because she's so obsessed with now doing the toys and the treats that if she sees me go through the gate to the hybrid area, she's like, let me in, like I'm ready to go. And we're like, no, it's not your turn yet. Like you have to wait. So I have to kind of sneak away so that she doesn't see that I leave. Then she'll still go play, in the big group. And then when it's her turn, she comes in and she loves the toy. She loves to chase it. She loves the food. So she'll find them when I go hide them in places. So yeah. And then you have dogs like we've got Max, who's a German Shepherd. So if I put him into group play in the morning, he's got too much energy. So he doesn't mean anything, harm by it, but he is going to be a little bit on the crazier side and not quite make those right decisions. So we just channel that energy into fun games, like just one-on-one with myself. And then once I've used that energy with the fun games, then he can go out and play with, his friends later on in the morning. And then you have some dogs who don't have that much confidence, like everything's a little bit scary.
Yeah.
So then I use the games to build up their confidence and to, make things like they're having those wins, they're catching the toy or they're finding the treat and they get that confidence and that bond a lot more. So we use the hybrid for, all different reasons. For dogs like Scout who just love it. Like they just love, like who wouldn't want group play and also being the center of attention with one person giving you treats and toys. Like it's just the best, it's the best kind of combo, because sometimes they can get a little bit tired or, just a little bit over, being in the full group all day.
So the adjustment of the areas where you send the doggies, you are the one who select that.
So we have our main group area, so people can choose just for their dogs to be. You'll find the treat, aren't you?
She's looking for the treat.
I know, she knows it's there. There you go. So you have the dogs that the owners just select what we call group play, and that's just when they just have the about like 7-ish acres of area where they play with the pond and the sand pit and all of the other places we have for them, and that's just all one big area. And then I have 2 hybrid areas that is like separate to that area, which I will bring in those dogs who owners have selected for them to have like almost like the next level up, which is the activities. And I can also do small group play in there. So I have some dogs who, you've got some dogs who are really humpy. So Labrador, or actually any retriever, Labrador retrievers, golden retrievers, Dalmatians are really known for it as well. They're a very humpy breed. And when it gets to a really exciting environment, the brain's like, oh my God, what do I do with all of this excitement? And for whatever reason, it thinks that humping is a really good idea. So if we put them in the big group, sometimes that's just too much excitement for their body. We all know how happy Labradors are. They're just such a happy breed. And then if you're putting them in a fun environment like daycare, they're even more happier. So they don't know what to do with, those urges. Whereas if I put them into small group play in the hybrid area, they can actually make better connections and have, more fun because it's less tempting. So there's certain dogs who need like the small play area.
I reckon mine will be one of them.
Yeah.
Otherwise he will get crazy.
Yeah. Some of them it's just,
with the older dogs.
It's a kid in a candy store, sometimes giving them too many, fun things can kind of bring out those, unwanted behaviors. So now before we had this program, we would have to just go, look, sorry, it's not working. It's your dog doesn't suit daycare because they're humping or they're,
so you get to tell the owner.
We just switch them to hybrid. So now we just go, okay, cool. Rather than saying, no, your dog can't come anymore, which is what most of the time is the case. Now we can go, okay, cool. They're not working in the big group area. Let's switch them to the small group area instead. Let's work on them in a different way. So it's really giving us an opportunity to not turn away any dogs. Working dogs are often ones that the big group is too enticing for them. They think that the group of dogs is like sheep. They want to, chase them and round them up or nip them. We don't want that. So putting them in the small group area, they don't have the ability to chase. So they're more likely to actually play. Like I know my Kelpies, they won't play in a big group like Daycare because they more want to run. Whereas at home, they will wrestle with each other because they're in like the smaller, more quiet environment.
Yes.
So we have, working dogs who are now starting to build a relationship with each other in our, we've got Hunter and Kobe. They are my Friday hybrid dogs. One's a Kelpie cross border collie, one's a border collie. If I put them in the big dog area, they just chase and bark at the other dogs. And that's no fun for anyone. But if I put them in the small group area, they're starting to develop a little friendship with each other. Kobe will pounce and play bow and bounce around Hunter, and Hunter kind of does his little bum wiggle and smushes his bum into Kobe. And over the couple of weeks, they're starting to build a relationship. That would have never happened in the big group area because all they want to do is run and bark. So it's giving dogs an opportunity to have beautiful relationships that are different to, especially if a dog is difficult to take to the dog park, or owners just we have lives. We love our dogs, but we also have busy lives.
And also I feel that this is a way for owners to have at least one day in the week to send their doggies to burn that energy. And to, get excitement about that specific day to, go and do that fun thing.
Yes. Yeah.
So they settle a little bit because my dog, he wants to be out the whole time.
Yeah.
But normally I used to take him out at night only. But sometimes we are like, we got time, we're going to take him out in the morning. He still asks for getting out at night.
Yes.
So he's like, why? You went out this morning, but he doesn't care. Yes.
Yeah. But he's like, no, I normally do nighttime. Yeah. And we have even last week I discovered, so we've got a little miniature dash hound that comes to us. We've got quite a lot of dash hounds that come to us. We've got 3 today actually. One of them, it's their birthday, and then we've got 2 other dashies. But Delilah, she's been coming to us for years now, and she keeps to herself. She's more quiet in the big group. She kind of just plods along and explores and does her own thing. And I had her in the hybrid area while she was waiting to have her bath. And she all of a sudden was interested in the toy that I was playing with the dog, and she was interested in the treats. So I started kind of doing some things with her, and I discovered that she just lit up. She was just a completely different dog. She was tugging this toy.
Exciting.
She loved the I think it was the rabbit fur tug that I had out with her. So she was going crazy for it. I had treats, and I started to we have cones that I hide the treats under, and I get them to find which cone it's under. So I taught her how to do that, and she was very good. She even found a random treat that somebody else left. She stopped, went over, found a rogue treat, and then came back and then found the treat that was under the cone. So I said to her owners, how about we switch it to hybrid? Clearly this is what she wants to be doing. She was so excited. So let's do this as well as the play, but I think she'll have more fun doing this sort of stuff. And then she'll probably be even more enriched when she goes home because she's had a more fulfilling day because she's been doing, funner stuff. So so it's funny. Sometimes we've known her for years, but just happened to be she was in the right, place at the right time.
Probably it was because she has been a long time with you guys.
Yeah.
So now she's getting more comfortable with doing different things. She's not scared anymore.
Yeah. Delilah's owners actually contacted us to book her into daycare when she first started coming because they adopted her from a farm. So although she's a mini dash hound, they wanted her to be able to still enjoy the elements of her previous life before they adopted her. So that's why they chose the outdoor daycare. She still goes to indoor daycare as well. The owners mix up the two.
Yeah.
But they wanted her to still have that kind of connection to the outdoor kind of park because she was originally from a farm.
So what would you say about what are the difference between indoors and outdoor? What are the benefits of an outdoor area for puppies?
Definitely a lot more activities naturally for them to do. So for indoor, when you think about it, it's really just play with each other, there's not really that much else that they can do with each other than kind of contact play because it is a smaller enclosed space. Whereas with us, they can just sniff, they can see the birds fly over, they can go for a swim, they can dig, they can find a stick and chew on a stick. So it allows them to be a dog. It doesn't make them just play or look at other dogs in a small space. They can literally they don't even have to play with anybody. They can just, if we just let dogs, if we opened all of our gates and let all our dogs run around, what would they do? they would go sniff and pee on everything and, kind of go find a stick and probably go dig a random hole in somewhere that they shouldn't be digging a hole. But, that's what they get to do with us. They just get to do what they should be doing, just in a controlled environment where humans are there to make sure that everyone's on their best behavior and everyone's making, each other feel good. No one's, intimidating each other or, going a bit too far with their play or anything like that. So we're that safety barrier, but in between, whatever makes them happy. We don't mind. If you just want to sniff and, run all day, or if you want to, some dogs are obsessed with swimming. So they spend most of their time swimming all day. We don't mind.
So you got a lake
We've got a pond, yeah.
Okay, so amazing.
Yeah, so it's shallow and then goes deeper in the middle. So, the dogs, they don't have to just go straight away swimming and not know what to do. They can just walk on the edge and still get to their feet wet. So it's nice and safe for them. Owners don't have to worry about their dogs kind of not knowing how to swim. They have to walk quite far in before they won't be touching the ground. So,
and to be honest, dogs know.
They know, yeah.
Like they are not going to jump into the deep.
No, definitely not. No, it's very rare that we get a dog that jumps off the dock. There's a dock that goes into kind of like a bit of it, and it's really fun when we get a dog that jumps off to the dock into the water. But that's like we've only had like 2 or 3 out of hundreds of dogs that come to us. We've only had 2 or 3 that do it. It'd be cool if there was more though.
It sounds like a lot of fun there.
It is, yeah.
So if people want to know about you or find you in Adelaide, where they can look at it?
Yeah, so our website's just Jame, Jam for Mary, pet.com. So super easy, jamepet.com. That has all of our information, our enrollment, our bus timetable, just like a human bus. We have a bus timetable with departure times and locations. But we are very social media based. We believe in videos. We still do cute photos, but we know that photos can be staged. So videos give owners a better peace of mind in regards to like what their dog's up to. So we do put videos on our stories each day that the dogs are with us. So that's on both Instagram and Facebook. So if you're going on Instagram and Facebook, it's Jame Farm Days.
Okay.
And that's how you find us. And we've also got our YouTube as well. So we put videos that are about kind of 4 or 5 minutes long at the end of every day. So that's more of like the full day that you can see. And that's Jane Dog Daycation, which is our kind of new name that we've got. Jane Farm Days is what we were previously. Jane Dog Daycation is what we are now. And that's our YouTube channel.
Okay. Thank you so much, Teagan, for being here. And I love to see these beautiful doggies.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome. Thank you so much for tuning into this episode of the Pawsome Companion. If you have any further questions for our experts, feel free to leave them in the show notes or reach out to me directly. And if you are a pet expert who would love to contribute to this podcast, we will be thrilled to hear from you. Don't forget to follow us, and if you enjoyed today's episode, we will really appreciate a 5-star review. Thanks again, and we will see you at the next episode.